Microsoft has just released a Super Bowl ad for Copilot, showing off a sense of defiance and opportunity. There is no bigger event in the world for advertising than the Super Bowl. You might even say that the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl of advertising. What makes it special is that it is the only time in the calendar year that Americans actually want to be advertised to. Meaningful percentages of the people who watch the Super Bowl say they're there more for the ads than for the game. What that means for big brands and companies is that it's a chance for them to make a very strong point about what they are going to be focused on that year. A Super Bowl ad is never just a one-off ad. It is almost always the beginning of a campaign. Today, Microsoft released a 60-second ad, which, by the way, costs on the order of $11 to $12 million just for that ad space, to say nothing of the production. And the focus of Microsoft's ad is AI, specifically Copilot. Now, as The Verge writes, this in many ways is fully the end of the transition away from the Bing brand and toward the Copilot brand. Now, in that, there's nothing new. That's been a shift that's been happening for some time. As The Verge points out, their plan to reignite interest in Bing kind of just didn't work. They write, "A year ago today, Microsoft unveiled its ambitious plan for an AI-powered Bing search engine. It was the biggest launch in the history of Bing, helped push AI usage even further into the mainstream, and spurred a wave of dreams and panic about what AI could impact next. 1 year later, Bing seems to have fallen out of the conversation. Google is still at over 91% of traditional search market share, and ChatGPT has rocketed to 100 million weekly users, all while Bing grew by less than 0.5% in the search market globally." So what has changed is that Microsoft stopped thinking about generative AI as an opportunity just for their search engine, but instead as an opportunity to change and update every piece of software they put out. Of course, as you'll know from this show, all of those AI features are called Copilot. And the emphasis and the story that Microsoft is telling about artificial intelligence is one in which every person has an AI companion that can help them do more, be more productive, accomplish more, and generally build a different type of future. Let's actually watch the ad, and then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit more.
Good morning.
Watch me.
Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now. Just watch me now.
So as The Verge points out, this is definitely a departure from Microsoft's traditional advertising. Whereas the focus has generally in the past been on the PC or specific devices, this ad is trying to tell a story about the world. It shows a really different sensibility at Microsoft about how Copilot fits into their future. In many ways, Copilot is becoming the leading consumer-facing brand inside the Microsoft universe. Because it touches everything, it is in some ways bigger than Office or 365, even if it doesn't have the sort of name recognition that those do yet. The other reason that Copilot, I think, is becoming Microsoft's main consumer-facing brand is that it tells a story not about them per se, but about their customers. And that's why I actually think this ad is tremendously well done. What this ad says about AI is that it's a tool for making you more you, for doing more of the things that you want to do, for achieving more of the things that you want to achieve. It isn't about being replaced or obsoleted. It isn't even about the world. It's about how you operate within it. On that journey, AI is your co-pilot. AI gives you superpowers. Now, obviously, part of the attempt here for Microsoft is to not just get Copilot to be well known, but to own and be at the very center of the idea of an AI assistant. That's obviously very different than how people, for example, imagine ChatGPT right now. It's certainly different than how people think of Google search. But it will certainly be something that you see more and more as other companies bring to market similar types of assistant experiences. Now, in interviews around the ad, Executive Vice President and Consumer Chief Marketing Officer at Microsoft, Yusuf Mehdi, has shared a little bit more about the future of Copilot as well. He said, for example, "Over time, I think you'll see us continue to add more and more of those things. So the notion of a personal Copilot that is yours, we want to get to one idea, And we want that to unlock everything you've got with your IDs, with your personal IDs and work IDs. Where we go from there, we'll see. There are lots of extensions that are coming to Copilot, whether those are GPTs or plugins, or the ability to do custom Copilots themselves. Many even suggested that Copilot is going to be at the center of a changing Windows brand. The Verge writes, Mehdi didn't want to talk about the specifics of how Microsoft will overhaul Windows for AI, but he did drop some breadcrumbs of what to expect. He said, the unique thing of Copilot inside Windows is that it can be aware of the context you're in. It can understand the pages so it can do more rich things. He also suggested that Copilot inside Windows will fundamentally change how people interact with the computer. He said, I think it's something like 20% of Windows users use 10% of the features. Once you can say, hey, turn my PC into dark mode, configure that printer for me, help me get the following going, we can turn everyone into a power user of Windows. Sounds cliche, but what I think it will unlock in terms of people's ability to use computers to do amazing things will be quite profound. Anyway, I think it's a great ad, and I think it says a lot about where Microsoft is that this is what they chose to focus on. Now that said, early reports suggest that there aren't going to be a ton of AI ads in this year's big game. People are speculating that there will be a, quote, notable shift away from technology, like AI and crypto. I'm not so sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Google AI ad show up, even if I do agree that crypto is unlikely to make much of an appearance. Anyway, interesting stuff. Appreciate you watching or listening as always, and until next time, peace